Hey guys, this is your host Thomas Tyree here from On the Hot Podcast. Today I have some bonus content for you guys. The bonus content we'll be covering today will be in the world of MMA inside the UFC world. In today's bonus segment, I'll be sharing my fight prediction for this weekend's fight taking place between Kamaru Usman and Joaquin Buckley, a huge fight that will take place in the welterweight division. In the main event of UFC Fight Night that will take place in Atlanta, Georgia this weekend, two top 10 ranked welterweight fighters will have a fight between Kamaru Usman and Joaquin Buckley. So I'll be sharing my following storylines heading into this welterweight fight. First storyline is, can Kamaru Usman turn back the clock and prove to us why he's still one of the best welterweights, a part of the UFC roster today? Now, Kamaru Usman, it's in the conversation where who you think is the greatest welterweight of all time, George St. Pierre or Kamaru Usman. And when you look at the run that Kamaru Usman was just on 3 to 4 years ago, this man was the king of the mountain, on top of the hill in the welterweight division. Held the title for over 1,200 days, 1,267 days with 5 title defenses. But the thing about Kamaru Usman now is he's 38. He hasn't won a fight since 2021 when he defeated Colby Covington, and he's lost his last 3 fights in a row. Back-to-back against Leon Edwards and lost against Khamzat Chimaev after taking the fight on a 12 to 14 day notice, moving up to middleweight to fight Khamzat Chimaev. So we're going to see if Kamaru Usman is still the man that he used to be. But then we look at the new kid on the block, Joaquin Buckley, who is climbing up the welterweight division. Can he pick up the biggest victory of his MMA career? Joaquin Buckley has now arrived. He's a top 10 welterweight, and he's on a 6-fight winning streak currently, and had the best performance, to my satisfaction, since he's arrived in the UFC, putting a satisfying belt-to-ass performance on Colby Covington. Now, for the wrong reasons, I do not like Colby Covington personally, so I was satisfied when Joaquin Buckley put belt-to-ass on him in his last performance in 2024, in December of 2024, getting the TKO victory due to referee stoppage because Colby Covington's eye was bleeding and his eyelid was basically going to be gone with the bruising that was going underneath the eye. But the final storyline would be the winner of this fight could be a little closer to getting a welterweight title shot down the line. Now, I would say the winner would get it, but I think right now we're in this era of where the welterweight division is about to become the best division in the UFC. It's the new division what the lightweight division used to look like a few years ago. That's how stacked this welterweight division is, because you got names like the former champion Bilal Muhammad, Sean Brady, Shavkat Rakhmonov, Leon Edwards, Ian Gary, Islam Makhachev, who's moving up, JDM, the champion, Kamaru Usman, Joaquin Buckley. There's so many names to the point where the winner of this fight might not even get a guaranteed welterweight title shot next. So it's a fun time to be a fan of welterweight fighting in the UFC. The roster is stacked, but the winner of this fight will get one step closer to getting a welterweight title shot down the line, and maybe late 2025, early 2026. But the tail of tape here, starting off Joaquin Buckley, he has 21 victories, 6 losses to his resume, 15 victories come away of knockout. Currently the 7th ranked welterweight contender in the UFC, stands at 5'10" with a reach of 76 inches. Then I'm looking at Kamaru Usman. Kamaru Usman has 20 victories, 4 losses to his resume, 9 victories come away of knockout, 1 submission victory. Currently the 5th ranked welterweight contender, stands at 6 foot tall with a reach of 76 inches. So the height goes to Kamaru Usman, but the reach, both fighters are at 76 inches in reach. So the game plans that I think these respective fighters should follow if they want to walk out of Atlanta, Georgia, with a huge victory in the welterweight division. Starting off with the veteran guy in Kamaru Usman. I think Kamaru Usman's got to let the hands fly. He has a he has a strong jab, possesses a strong right hand, explosive power, can win the counter-punching battle as well. Kamaru Usman is the real deal when the fight is kept standing. I think he should bring that type of old style to throw off the unexperienced fighter in these particular situations with Joaquin Buckley. Win the fight by using the strong jab, the right hand, using your explosive power, and winning the counter-punching battle. Next, I think it's important for Kamaru Usman to set up traps for Joaquin Buckley. Joaquin Buckley is a really good fighter, but if Kamaru Usman can still show why he is a great welterweight fighter, showing showing why he's still an elite striker. He should take the fight in the clinch as well. If the fight can be in the clinch, it could favor Kamaru Usman. And Kamaru Usman is a pretty good wrestler. He can set up traps by keeping the fight standing or taking the fight to the ground, and he has the ability to end the fight in the blink of an eye. So Kamaru Usman has to be ready. He has to be effective, set up the traps for Joaquin Buckley. And that leads me to my last game plan for Kamaru Usman. Don't panic. Stay calm, stay cool, stay collected in the moment, because he has the experience advantage over Joaquin Buckley. Kamaru Usman has the world title experience. He's been in the deep waters with the best welterweights a part of the UFC roster over the last 5 to 7 years. But the thing is, when you're fighting a former world champion in Kamaru Usman, you can get anything thrown at you. So Joaquin Buckley definitely has to be alert for that. But if Kamaru Usman can follow those 3 game plans, I think it would be just fine in the octagon against Joaquin Buckley. Starting off Joaquin Buckley, I think he's got to put the pressure on Kamaru Usman. He's got to feel comfortable when he's fighting, coming forward, and that's the best version that we see on Joaquin Buckley, when he's keeping the fight coming forward and putting the pressure on his opponents. And this could favor Joaquin Buckley as the fight goes on, because Kamaru Usman is up there in age, and he is having some knee issues. There's been reports that this man has had several injections in between camps over the last few years. So this might not be the same Kamaru Usman that dominated the welterweight division a few years ago. Next, I think Joaquin Buckley's got to use his wrestling background. Now, it's fire or fire trying to go to the ground with Kamaru Usman, who's a pretty good wrestler, but Joaquin Buckley has a pretty good wrestling background as well. And I seen the last time in late 2023, I saw Khamzat Chimaev wear down Kamaru Usman down on the ground with the takedowns and gaining ground control and basically keeping Kamaru Usman grounded. Now, Joaquin Buckley is not a better wrestler than Khamzat Chimaev, or a better grappler by any means. But if you use that game plan to slow down an older fighter and keep him grounded, gain ground control, can take control on the mount, side mount, landing some strikes, it could be in his favor to slow down the veteran fighter and frustrate Kamaru Usman on the ground. And last but not least, Joaquin Buckley should try to win the counter-punching battle. I just said the same thing for Kamaru Usman, but for Joaquin Buckley's sake, he is faster, he's stronger, he's younger, and he fights well in the southpaw stance. I mean, he's got the explosive hands. They're like dynamite coming out of those hands. And he has 15 victories come away of knockout in his MMA career. So this could be the best recipe for success and the best game plans for Joaquin Buckley to follow if he wants to defeat a legend, an icon, and a former world champion in Kamaru Usman. But with that being said, I'm going to go with Joaquin Buckley to defeat Kamaru Usman in the main event of UFC Fight Night this weekend. I think this could be a really good welterweight fight, but I just think this could be the final time that we see Kamaru Usman in the octagon. He is in his late 30s, and I don't know if we're going to see the same dominant fighter that we saw take over the welterweight division years and years ago. The last time that Kamaru Usman won a fight was in 2021 against Colby Covington. He's currently on a 3-fight losing streak, losing back-to-back times against Leon Edwards, lost against Khamzat Chimaev for late 2023, took the whole entire year off in 2024. We don't know what version of Kamaru Usman we're going to get. And I don't want to put him down or not believe in the former world champion, but this is a young man's game, a young man's sport in the MMA. But Joaquin Buckley, I think he's just going to be faster. The age it might show in the octagon. He's going to be faster. He's going to be stronger. I think Joaquin Buckley is more explosive than this version of Kamaru Usman that we're going to get. And currently, he's on a 6-fight winning streak after putting one of the most satisfying belt-to-ass performance against Colby Covington in December 2024. But I could just see Joaquin Buckley possibly catching Kamaru Usman with the perfect counter punch to put Kamaru Usman out of his misery with a knockout victory. I'm not being disrespectful to the former welterweight champion, but I don't think it's going to be his night Saturday night. And this could be one of the final times, if not the final time, we see Kamaru Usman in the octagon. So give me Joaquin Buckley to defeat Kamaru Usman and get to continue to climb up the welterweight division in his quest to become a world champion one day. But that is all the time I have for you guys today. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. This is your host, Thomas Tyree, signing off. And I'll see you guys on next week's episode.